Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Season 8 NRSL Universe Orlando Cup Series Chase LCQ here at Talladega, presented by T-Mobile. Once again, joined by Johnny Gardner, and that was a wild Xfinity race we saw yesterday. I mean, it was pretty crazy, especially the pit stops toward the very end, the last second, too.
What did I say? Pit stops are always a common thing, especially for out there Talladega.
And, of course, we have with us joining for this race, Levi Mcintyre. How you doing there?
Help, I'm being held here against my will.
The teleportation device broke, and
paying
it's against your will there. Anyways, let's get through your top 10, then we'll explain about all who are made the chase and go from there. Zach Rogers on the unofficial poll for today's race. Ironically enough, your winner when we last came to Talladega. Jesse Turner starting next to him in second. Cody Lamas in third. Dylan Thoreau in fourth. Ember Ross fifth. James Qualls sixth. Quentin Moore seventh. Benjamin Miles eighth. Ninth, Charles Sanford leading the top 10 is Seth Cole. And here's the rest of your lineup from 11th and 12th on back. Now, real quickly, with how this event is going to go on by, it was just the same as yesterday. So the top two drivers that are not confirmed in the top 10 in points and the wildcard holders, they're going to be the ones battling out for this win. So while we go through the lineup, whoever wants to do it, Levi or Johnny, who are the lucky 12 combatants that don't have to worry about this race is on the final row is John Art and Dylan Poteet. Awkward silence. Yay. I guess I'll say it for the time being. Looking at the drivers that are in, they include the following of Kate Anderson, Keith Batson, Trent Dunham, Diego Yepes, JT Bryant, Jesse Turner, Phil Parker, Jeff James, James Qualls, Clint Spillman, and our two wildcard holders, Seth Cole and Connor Myers. So, oh boy, that's going to be really interesting for those 12 if they're going to play a factor. And I mean, Johnny, we've seen it early on that those drivers were helping out their fellow competitors there, especially teammates.
Yeah, that's very true. But hey, anything can and will happen here.
Especially knowing how Talladega is here, and it is always prone to having the big one and everything too. So a few other notes as mentioned too. We talked about before many times about the drivers leaving all. Kate Anderson, remember she's safe in that battle there. This is her final run altogether, so she's got one shot to get a Cup championship there. And then Kyle Keith in the 42, who hasn't had really much of a season except for a little bit of a surge. He's got one chance, one last chance to make the chase and make one run for a championship. And of course, any other driver from there, we shall see what will happen. But we're about ready to get the command to fire the engines. Let's go down trackside to get the command.
Drivers, start your engines.
And there's the command. 38 laps of action here for today's race. And Levi, I know you were here with us a previous while ago. I mean, these races, when it comes to that Chase LCQ, it's a non-points paying race. All bets are off at this moment.
No doubt about it, especially when we're at a big beast such as Talladega, where it's all about where your friends are, where you find them on the track. It doesn't matter if you're on top, the bottom, middle, or what have you. As long as you got somebody behind you giving that extra boost of speed through the draft, you can make anything happen.
I guarantee a lot of the drivers who are here that just missed out via by the top 10 in points, especially if you're named Joshua Osborne in car 27, you know, you got to hope for that little bit of an edge. And we've seen that with Andrew Miller yesterday, Johnny. Do you think drivers like Osborne, they could sneak on in at the last second? Or do you think drivers that are in the rear of the field, kind of like, ironic enough, Kyle Keith, like we mentioned, the 42, Cody Lamas in the 48, could they sneak in?
Anything's possible. Hey, even I can sneak in there if I choose to.
Well, Zach Rogers, Jesse Turner, they're going to lead the field down, and it's showtime at Talladega, presented by T-Mobile. We are green. So far, Zach Rogers in that MSI Dodge, a good start right there. But of course, it's like they say, it doesn't matter what laps you lead there. What matters is coming down to that checker flag and seeing if you're P1 and P2, if you're a non-chaser right there. And one thing I do want to ask to Levi out here, you know, when you're a single car team, who do you really look at a driver trying to look for the help the most? Do you say help your forward companion or the ones that you really know and respect out there on the racing course?
I would say it all just depends on the situation and depending on where you are on the racetrack with the drivers in vicinity to you. Like some cases, you want to try and drop back and find somebody you can trust to give you the push or that you can push. But most of the time, it's just all about being in the zone and just staying where you are and hope that the driver behind you or in front of you knows what they're doing and work your way up to the front that way. Or do what I would normally just do, and that's just try and take your car as fast as possible and try and make as many passes as you can and go from lane to lane and see what works.
Cody Lamas, Quentin Moore, right now the top two. Charles Sanford, the 0-3. Now remember, when we were at Thornton, he got turned by Kyle Matthews, and I guarantee you that is one driver that car is not going to be pushing. It's the 0-9. In case you're wondering where Kyle Matthews is at, he's on that middle line right there in that mellow yellow Chevrolet. And now Quentin Moore in the 89 looking to the inside for the lead. Here comes a couple of the non-chasers now all of a sudden making their moves. Alex Ferranti, William Flickinger, all within that line there. And knowing how Talladega it is super unpredictable. You know, the 3-4 wide racing that all these drivers go through. And the fact that, you know, it's probably one of the fan favorites out of all the tracks in general. What makes this a fan favorite, Johnny?
Well, like you said, the 3 and 4 wide racing, the pack racing is always a good thing too. But also with the the thing with the crashes, though, people tend to enjoy. However, like you were mentioning with Kyle and Charles, those two are teammates. It should have been a pretty interesting team meeting after what happened in Thornton.
James Quall's getting kicked up to the high line right there and tries to get back in line. Will do so. Dylan Thoreau tried to push him up there for whatever reason. I guarantee you his goal is trying to find Joshua Osborne and trying to springboard him to the front. Right now, Turner's going to lead the lap right there. Brett Pritchard in car 54 and William Flickinger in the 8 are the two right now at the line. That would be the top two, and we're starting to see that 4 wide now starting to show, and Quentin Moore in a very bad spot right now.
If I were Quentin, just hang on for dear life.
And we've seen that happen earlier in the Xfinity race with Eugene Max, and oh, a bit of contact. Oh, and how in the world did they keep that together? Cody Lamas and Quentin Moore were rubbing doors, let alone leading, and I don't know how we avoided a wreck there.
Yeah, I don't know how either, because usually whenever you see cars leaning against one another, disaster.
Oh my God, they're going 5 wide for position. That is not going to work, and Ross and aren't going to go around.
Oh no.
Oh, and they're going to hold on.
Maybe.
No. Oh, there they go. It was only a matter of time, and the caution will be out for the first time. Joshua Osborne, 11th in the points. Jeff James, another driver who fell out. Oh, and Emma Ross ran into Alex Drayton. Kyle Matthews. And Johnny Gardner. Meanwhile, as they're racing back to the line. Yeah, definitely. Looks like Jessica Sheldon right now, she's definitely got the first spot right now. Kyle Keith looking to get the second. But he wants to lead at the line. Even though the laps led doesn't really matter, and the 42 will do so. Oh, Quentin Moore tapped the wall right there. But Amber Ross, man, that was only a matter of time for her to go around, and I don't know how they kept it all together, but they tried 5 wide at the front stretch. That is the first time, and Zach Rogers is coming down pit road in the MSI Dodge.
5 wide is not typically.
No, Devin Becker involved in the 36. He's all good to go, though. He's made the chase. Connor Meyer, Joshua Osborne, Audra Baranowski, your winner at Mosport earlier this season. And just keep an eye on here. There are a couple of chasers, and Batson not paying attention. Well, I mean, at least it's the chasers that are, kind of getting involved in this mess, and thank God. But Connor Meyer, that's probably going to solidify right there, but he's the second wildcard holder. But Joshua Osborne, what a tough break for that 27 team, and he just missed out on the top 10 in points. And as far as him trying to go back to the chase, it will not look likely for that 27 team. So Qualls will be a man on his own there for Johanna Atwood Motorsports. And it looks like the whole field's coming down.
Yeah, I don't see why not. Might as well come in, get fresh tires, and top off on fuel, and hope that you can make it past the halfway point. Maybe try and go on a I don't know, about a good 15, 16 lap fuel run in hopes that they can only go on one green flag pit stop if it remains green the
And you
rest of the
notice
way.
Zach Rogers, he just beat out the pace car too, so he's going to stay on the lead lap. What a lucky break for the 6 right there. Meanwhile, he's seen cars coming off of pit road and coming in. A couple cars kicking up the dirt right there. There you see Ramian Fisher in the 11 right there. William Flickinger in the 8. And Jessica Sheldon will lead on pit stops. Cody Lamas, Kyle Keith, Clint Spillman. Oh man, Turner's trying to get into his, or I guess he was coming out. And, oh, Becker, Charles Sanford. Wow, that was close. He almost ran into RJ Bishop, and that was way too close.
Close call.
Very close calls indeed.
And a couple cars on pit road. We'll look in just a second. Tim Fiegel with a nice stop. That's Jeff James and Johnny Gardner. Devin Becker as well. Phil Parker just leaving pit road. Like I mentioned, Zach Rogers. Lucky break for that 16 there. So now, of course, these guys got to make sure they do not drive terrible here coming off of pit road. And drivers got to learn to use the brakes. That is something that is key here. And oh, Spillman just got to... Oh, my goodness.
Oh my God.
Wow, and that, what was that about?
Possibly a miscommunication coming off of the pits.
Wow, that was a horrible miscommunication.
And that's going to cost a lot of drivers' chances of
Finn
making
Guy blew the motor.
Forward.
Jeffrey Finn Guy blew the motor. He wasn't even involved in that mess, and he blew the engine of the Detroit Red Wings Ford Mustang there. Wow. And I guarantee you the one that's got to be fuming are Brett Pritchard and Alex Ferranti, because that was just uncalled for. Well, I can't wait to see what the heck happened, but Shelton out in front in car 02. Let's look what brought ourselves our first caution, and then we'll look at the wreck that came on by after leaving pit road. Well, you're seeing it right here, 5 wide off the front straight. That is definitely a first in the books here at Talladega, and I've never seen that until today. But we seen it earlier. It was just going to be a matter of time until these guys were just going to wreck right here.
Well, like I say, Dylan, though, 5 wide typically works on the back straightaway, but on into the tri-oval, oh, hell no.
Especially considering how it bottlenecks from 5 lanes to 4 lanes.
Oh, without a doubt.
And you see John Art and Ember Ross, they were making a good amount of contact, and John Art realized, okay, I got to get off now because we got to get back on the course. And I thought they were going to wreck right off here, coming right before turn 1, because they looked like they were going to take out Phil Parker in the process, but Ross comes back up right into Johnny Gardner, nowhere to go. This is where I thought everything was just going to turn chaotic, and then they had it saved, and then Ross just could not hold on right there, and around goes the 77. Tell you what, Phil Parker got really lucky after all that one there, even though he's in the chase, but man, Kyle Matthews goes right into Jeff James, and watch Baranowskis and Joshua Osborne trying to avoid this mess. Same for Alex Drayton. Devin Becker, and there's all 3 of them getting involved. Look at Drayton's just hitting the brakes and runs right into Kyle Matthews, and that solidifies it right there for him. So that was that incident. And I mean,
now let's look at the aftermath from pit road.
may as well keep it on the clip, and we'll look at Clint Spillman in the 24, because I have no idea what happened, because that is just, well, we go from a first for a 4-wide battle to or a 5-wide battle to Clint Spillman probably saying WTF was that.
Hey, what the fuck was that?
And I think it was Turner. Now, if you notice, the pace car speed is at 65. If you want to be specific, 64. So we'll keep it at half speed. And Turner just got into that corner of the 24. It goes right into Cody. Pritchard's trying to avoid Tim Fiegel. Nowhere to go. Same for Alex Ferranti. And that's another driver who's got to be fuming is Tim Fiegel, because he is dead last in the points. And I don't know what to say on that one. That was just, I'm in utter shock. So,
yeah. So from what I could what I'm trying to figure out, perhaps, is that maybe Spillman was trying to get in front of the car behind him, and the car behind him didn't quite get the message. And yeah, Turner, it looks like. And Turner just didn't quite get the message in time. And as Spillman was coming down, well, let's double check it. No, he was still running straight. It just looked like perhaps Turner, now that I see it again, it looked like Turner was just trying to get to the 24, but didn't slow down in time and just ran right into the left rear quarter panel.
Let's just see from Jesse Turner's onboard in the cockpit here and just show the view here. So this is onboard in
And
full
keep
motion.
an eye on the mile per hour rating on this as well to see how much he does try to slow down.
I mean, he's slowing down a bit, but he's not, like, really slowing down. And oh, he just didn't... Man, it just happened too quick there.
Yeah, it's... I don't know if perhaps if his brakes didn't work in that moment, like the brakes just jammed or whatever, I don't know. But there's definitely going to be something between Turner and Spillman after the race for sure.
Probably let alone a few drivers in the garage, too, so... Oh, and Tim Fiegel's randomly jumping for whatever reason. Caution's out for the first time today. Let's take you back to the green. Pace car is already down pit road. We're about ready to go back. Green flag racing here at Talladega. Green flag back underway for Jessica Shelton in the 0-2.
And this is going to be an interesting lap considering there are quite a few drivers up toward the front of the field that have damage from particularly that aftermath wreck. So you got to wonder if they're going to be up to speed or have proper aerodynamics to keep up with the lead pack.
We'll see for sure. Out of the race after that, by the way, include Ember Ross, Kyle Matthews, Alex Drayton, Johnny Gardner, Connor Meyer, Joshua Osborne, Jeffrey Finguy, and then from the aftermath, it was Alex Ferranti and Brett Pritchard. And you see the top three. Cody Lamas is fine. Clint Spillman, on the other hand, he is not fine. At least the good news for him is he's in the chase, so not a whole lot lost here, but yeah, he's coming down pit road. I'm not surprised right there.
Yeah,
oh, Devin Becker just blew the motor. Devin Becker just blew the motor in the 36 trying to get into the pack.
Wow.
That's
two random engine failures we've seen so far, and we're not even halfway through the race yet.
First a Ford, now a Toyota, and I guarantee if you're a Chevrolet, I think your time to be nervous is starting to be now. Or a Mercedes. Oh boy. I just saw that in the corner of my eye. And for right now, yeah, Tim Fiegel's also off the pace too in the 95. Now it is kind of separated a little bit as Kyle Keith is out in front. Ramian Fisher right now in the second position. Wait a second, these drivers coming back down? Cody Lamas is. Tim Fiegel also coming down. They got problems with their car. That damage is not holding up well at all.
Yeah, and Lamas did get quite a bit of damage during that aftermath crash.
Yeah, the right side.
Right front.
And Clint Spillman coming back out on the course just to repair some of the damage, try to get back out, but that's a tough break right there. Meanwhile, up in the front of the field, Ramian Fisher in car number 11. And look at all the Chevrolets starting to really make their presence. You got Fisher, you got Shelton, Dunham, Commons, Keith, Flickinger, James Qualls. And then you got a few other cars that aren't a part of that Chevy brigade. That's Jesse Turner, JT Bryant, Charles Sanford barely hanging on with the draft of Bryant to get up to that front of the field there.
And they better start working together a little bit better if they're going to have a chance at staying in the pack and hopefully make the challenge for the race lead.
And these guys, these guys in the rear, they're playing smart. They're going to go single file, and I don't blame them for that. But now, as you notice, there's going to be damaged lap cars that are going to now be an issue for these drivers. Now, I asked this to Johnny in the Xfinity race, but I want to ask you at Levi because, you know, it's always a fun little topic with these damaged lap cars. What's the best way to get around these cars? Just hope and pray for a miracle, or you just got to gun it and hope for the best?
Pretty much you just got to pray for a miracle because most of the time whenever you have those slower damaged cars, they're just going to get right in the way of the cars on the lead lap and cause, well, for one, it does help the drivers behind the lead pack maybe catch up to the lead pack in hopes of staying competitive. But at the same time, it is going to frustrate those front runner cars who are trying to race it out and they can't because they're stuck behind a bunch of cars. So Yeah, you just got to hope and pray that they stay, say, in the corners, stay on the top side while they go to the bottom and go on by them and try and keep racing that way. But if we keep seeing double wide action, then there is definitely going to be some problems.
Right now, the top two is Sky Comets and William Flickinger as those two chase spots right there as Trent Dunham is out in front. And I guarantee you, if you're in the mind of James Qualls, you know you lost your teammate in that chase battle right there. And you know these next 10 weeks, you have to hope for whatever you can being in that 70 car. The only good news I can say for James Qualls is that ever since he's been in this series, you know, normally he relies on this race. Last season didn't have to worry about it, and this season he didn't have to worry about it. This is like his 6 consecutive chase that he's made altogether. Or actually, 6 of the 7 chases altogether within those seasons he's made the chase. So that's a really good sign right there. But I guarantee you there's going to be a lot of thinking, though, in this next 10 weeks about not only where he's going to run, but when we go to places that are going to really rely on the draft, like Armory Digital or even, you know, Fontana, who do you really work with? As now the leaders are approaching Cody Lamas, who's going to be a little bit off the pace. Not a whole lot, but just enough, though. And this may help the second pack catch up a little bit here as they're actually reeling in JT Bryant, the 22 there. You see cars behind Diego Yepes. They are off the pace. Kev Shear's the last car in the pack that's really withstanding a chance right now.
I guess Mr. Shear's going to be a little triggered.
Probably. Even though this is going to help the 48 blend into the pack. As you notice, he wasn't really off the pace as that Ally Chevrolet because he was still up in that main battle, but whatever reason, that damage was really starting to affect that Chevrolet, though. I'll tell you what, though, speaking of Chevy, it's a good day to be that manufacturer out there right now because their cars are out there in front, and they have just been having a dominating force out there.
And really, from what we can tell, the only non-Chevy running up here in this main battle for the lead is Jesse Turner in that 78.
Yeah, that Mercedes AMG there. Ironic enough, two of the 3 Bishop family racing cars did make the chase. One of them did get the win. That was car 59, Diego Yepes. Turner was one of the only 2 drivers that did not win a race, but was extremely consistent throughout the season and managed to finish the race in the top 10 without a win. So that should tell you alone how Turner's done really, really good. Ironic enough, Turner finished in second when we last came here at Talladega. So I guarantee you, he's got the mindset, I want this win more than ever. Forget making the chase as well. A win would mean a lot. Quite a ways till they catch up to Clint Spillman and Tim Fiegel. But for right now, the pack did kind of dissipate a little bit there, and it's kind of remaining double file for the most part. Looking at through the field, though, you see Kev Shear, his 23rd last time by at the line. Wow, JT Bryant just got absolutely clobbered, you know, from the pack, and all of a sudden gobbled and spit it out there. And now Kev Shear's going to work with the 22, so that should tell you probably of the drivers that may battle this out to see who's going to get those final 2 spots. But it's still Trent Dunham out in front in that Sega Chevrolet.
Now, from what I'm seeing now, that second group of cars that were behind the main Chevy group, they have now entered into this pack, and guys including Levi Mcintyre in the 99, he's now up there.
See RJ Bishop in the 98 in the Mercedes, Seth Cole in the 07, Zachary Fitzwater in the 7, Dylan Thoreau in the 4. And now we got, other than Cody's a lap car there, Benjamin Miles in the 2, Dylan Potee in the 31 starting to reel in, and there's the previous Talladega race winner, Zach Rogers, starting to reel his way in. That'd be crazy if he could pull a Talladega sweep and also make the chase. That would be something to that MSI Dodge. Remember, he's the only Dodge in this entire field this season. It was like that last season too, but the good news for him next season for the manufacturer, wow, as Fisher threw a block right there on Kyle Keith. He did not want to give up second. Is that there's going to be another Dodge coming in next season. There's going to be actually a few of them, rather. Holy cow.
Funny enough, Dodge is starting to make a bit of a resurgence in a bunch of random series, including my own, as Dodge is making their long-awaited return over there as well.
So you can tell that's a good sign right there. And now Dylan Thoreau in the 4, looking for the top position for that LCQ spot there off Ramey and Fisher. A pair of white and blue Chevrolets right there. Or blue and white, should say, rather. Now Zachary Fitzwater, last season's champion. Hasn't really had much this season. Trying to capitalize here, and this would be a crazy way to do it. Actually, ironic enough, we never had a champion actually make it in through the LCQ before, so this would be a first.
It would be a first, indeed.
And now you're
Meanwhile,
starting to
if you
see
stay back there a few cars behind the leader, that bottom lane's starting to form as the 99 of Levi Mcintyre is trying to get that bottom lane going and try and get himself and everybody behind him up to the lead.
Well, Fisher tried to block that time. No luck at all for the Credit One Bank Chevrolet there. Now Courtney Keefe, Zach Rogers, they have emerged into the fray. Kate Anderson, she's already in the chase, so not really a whole lot mattered for her. And Kev Shear, I'm surprised, him and Bryant, they lost the pack a little bit right there. Same for Phil Parker and Noah Hart right there. The problem is, too, is the next slow car they're going to approach, it's quite a ways up there. That's Clint Spillman and Tim Fiegel, and I don't know when they're going to approach them, but probably about another lap, but if you notice there, guys, the laps are ticking down, and I have a feeling they may come down pit road one more time, and if it does, how much do you think this race will change?
Quite a bit, in my opinion, I think.
I would say it will change the field up in a good amount, considering that typically with Talladega, you see a bunch of different strategies as far as when to come into pit road.
Cody and Thoreau. Didn't mean to cut you off, Levi. They were rubbing doors right there, but they're going to keep it together. And that 42 saw that. He is getting out of there. I don't blame him.
But yeah, as I was saying, so yeah, it all depends on like when these drivers decide to come to pit road. If you're going into pit road by yourself, that's going to really hurt you, considering you wouldn't have the draft help to really get your car up to the front in the way you want it to. So it's best to just try and make friends as far as when to come to pit road, so that way you can have a bunch of different game plans going on. And it's also a matter of how well you work together off of pit road to get back into a draft and then catch back up to other cars that you might have lost a little bit of time to from coming into pit road.
Wow, look at RJ Bishop. You see he's trying to get around Trent Dunham right there as they approach Clint Spillman. And he is gonna get lucky. And wow, Spillman throws a block on Dunham. And oh, this is where it's gonna get messy.
Oh, boy.
And they're also gonna approach Tim Fiegel in the 95 as Kate Anderson has jumped into the fray. Oh, look out.
This is going to really benefit drivers like JT Bryan and Kev Shearer a little bit, as they're going to try and inch their way closer to the main pack.
Oh, Tim Fiegel about almost got dumped right there thanks to Seth Cole. Close call, but they're going to hold on there. And look at even drivers like Phil Parker and Noah Hart. Remember, Parker's already in. Noah Hart's not. They're hoping that 95 and 24, they're trying to hold up as much as they can to get themselves in this main pack here. Thoreau in the 4 is just getting absolutely held up by Clint Spillman here. Same for McIntyre, Benjamin Miles, and Trent Dunham. Just, wow, he just got absolutely kamikazed by the slow car there. And Bryan and Shearer, they're battling. That's going to really hurt their cars. They were working together earlier, and now they're battling. Meanwhile, Tim Fiegel is holding up RJ Bishop as Courtney Keith led at the line. And now this is where these guys are going to go single file, trying to get around all these damaged cars. And I think for the time being, that will be the end of these damaged cars. And Bishop, I have no idea why he's chilling in that high line. Yeah, that's what I'd be trying to do, go in that middle line rather. But, man, now Fiegel's trying to block RJ for whatever reason. Bishop trying to swing the car low. Tim Fiegel follows him.
Oh, wow.
That is not playing nice at all. And now Bishop going to try to go to the high line. Dylan Thoreau going to go the low line. He's going to get stuck behind the 95. That will help a little bit on Hart and all these guys, but not enough time for them to catch up. They are probably hoping and praying to not only get around these two damaged cars, but probably hoping for the yellow.
Meanwhile, you see Levi McIntyre, after he got held up by a couple of those cars, he's trying to come back and work on the bottom to get back up to the lead. And I see Qualls kind of getting stuck there in between a couple of cars, but he's making it work as he's slowly but surely working his way up as Kyle Keith goes underneath Seth Cole for second and following his teammate Courtney Keith 1-2 currently.
Yes, say Keith there. This is their final season altogether. They're shutting down at the end of the season, and a lot of question marks remaining throughout the remainder of the season. But the good news is all their drivers, like that they had remained, like Trent Dunham and Benjamin Miles, they got teams that they're going to next season. Trent Dunham's going to Tweenix, and Benjamin Miles going to the DBI there to be in the 62 there. So gonna be interesting to see how Miles will be in a Ford, but regardless though, they still want to finish this season, let alone this race, on a high note and try to make it in. And oh man, they got 3 slow cars are approaching pretty soon. That'll be Quentin Moore, John Art, and Audrey Baranowskis. These guys got around Clint Spillman with a little to no issues. Their next one will be Tim Fiegel in the 95. But I guarantee you, this race is far from over. And I mean, this has been unreal.
Meanwhile, Levi Mcintyre trying to push Trent Dunham back to the lead in hopes that he can make a move on Dunham for himself. And I thought he was going to go for it, but decides to stay back behind Trent for the time being.
And remember, these chasers can be like picks too, because, you know, they're not battling out for those final 2 spots, but they could play a benefactor into pushing who they want, though. And we've seen before, remember back in Season 4, Trent Dunham had to deal with slow cars there, and he ended up getting turned and almost crashing the front straightaway there. That was a very classic moment right there. And this time, he's not the slow car, so that's a good sign right there. Miles, though, will take the top position. William Flickinger, P2. Bishop now going 3 wide. Ten laps to go when we cross the line. Dunham the leader. The top 2 for those 2 entries is Miles and Bishop, and here they come to John Art, Quentin Moore, and Audrey Baranowskis.
Say a prayer. Look out.
Oh, forget two of those cars. Why not 3 now? They're up in the ante here. Yeah, these guys are way far back here. They're at least 9 seconds back, almost 10 seconds. They are needing a caution right now in order to keep themselves alive. And not only that, they got to get through that wreck too.
Yeah.
Dunham, I'll give him credit. If he was trying to battle for that LCQ, he's definitely had the strongest car today, no doubt about it. But he's a chaser. He don't really have to worry about all this stuff. And Dunham is going to try to go to the high line. Gets around John Art. Quentin Moore.
Oh, they're going to split him.
Oh my goodness. And look at Dunham. This just shows you how well he is in the NRSL series. And he's going to get around all 3 of those cars with little to no issues. Bishop wisely stays in the low line. Oh, but never mind. Dylan Thoreau's going to push him down low, 3 wide. Oh, push it. Baranowskis right there. That was close. Yeah. Oh, this is getting dicey here. This is where you just got to hold on for dear life there. And oh, John Art about got turned right there in the 0-5. Wow, Baranowskis almost got turned right there as well. William Flickinger almost just got chopped by the Atlanta FC United Chevrolet.
Goodness gracious.
Great balls of fire.
William Flickinger in the 8th, though, trying to avoid out of all of it. Now that inside line's starting to form. How about Charles Sanford? He has shown a lot of displeasure being in the Cup Series. Well, it's been like the last 5 or 6 weeks. And here he is trying to at least make the chase this season. He's trying to at least do something good. Courtney Keith in the meantime. Right now in one of those entries. Zachary Fitzwater in the 2nd entry. I don't think they'll be dealing with any more slow cars now for the rest of this race. So now it looks like these guys here, you can tell if it gets to about lap 34, they're basically SOL for that caution there. And they are really hoping for that yellow, like right about now. Or otherwise, their chances are over. Dunham, though, using the high line to hold on for the lead. Don't really get to see that a lot.
That's something else.
Now, the interesting thing is, these drivers have yet to come to pit road. You got to wonder they ought to start pitting sooner rather than later, so that way, if it gets down to the nitty-gritty in the final few laps and we start seeing cars come to pit road, who knows what's going to happen, because I've seen it many times before, drivers trying to stretch out their fuel tanks to the very end, and even on the last lap, could not make it and had to come to pit road and cost themselves the win.
And you got to remember, Johnny, when we were in the Xfinity race, it was down to the last 4 laps that these drivers were starting to come on down. Do you think we will see that right around that time frame?
I wouldn't be surprised if it was exactly the same time.
Look at Courtney Keith in that 40, and I guarantee you these drivers, they're looking at their fuel gauge and they're watching very carefully. Let's just go on board with one of the drivers there. How about the 4th row? And take a look in the onboard here on the roof. With the way how they're driving and everything. Oh, some cars are moving up there. I think the front of the pack's coming down, and one of them is the row, as well as Zachary Fitzwater and others. Well, I spoke too soon on coming down. Never mind on that.
With 5 to go, so you got to wonder if some are going to try and stay out till the end, or if they're going to have to come in.
And you got to remember, there's some big names that are trying to make the chase. And I mean, there are some big names, too. They're just trying to do what they can. The backpack guy also came down, too. Very surprising. With the exception of Kev Shearer and Phil Parker. Shelton getting left out to dry right there. But if she comes down pit road with this pack that they do, then that will really change a lot. Seth Cole, Cody Lamas, they're making an indication of moving up. That tells you Courtney Keith is coming down in the 40. Yes, she is. She's bringing along a hornet's nest of drivers. Shelton's going to stay out that time.
Now, you got to wonder another thing, too. Which group of cars that have come in will have the bigger advantage?
Ooh. And Phil Parker and Kev Shearer there, not a good move, even though Phil's already in the chase. But that did not help Kev Shearer at all. Working our way back up. Noah Hart, JT Bryant leaving pit road, you're seeing right there. And these guys, well, they're going to have to deal with these cars that are leaving pit road. You got William Flickinger and Cody Lamas. They are staying out still. Those are the top 2 right now. They may be the 2 drivers to keep an eye on as they're getting around Charles Sanford. Williams making an indication. He's coming down. Cody Lamas. Is he coming down? He's going to stay out. Same for Ramian Fisher in the 11. I believe, though, he is a lap down, which that is the case. So, Shelton's coming down. Oh, boy. Kev Shearer coming down in the 00. And if I were Kev, I would literally just take gas only, no tires, and get whatever you can to catch up to that pack.
Oh, absolutely.
Eyes are on Cody Lamas. I believe he was trying to come down earlier, but he did not because of all that traffic. And at the line will be 3 laps to go. Cody's got a gigantic lead, but this is a little bit of a sticky situation. He guns it and gets out of there.
Yeah.
Now the Ally Chevrolet. He's waving the hand. He's coming down pit road this time by... No, he's not. He's going to stay out. Well,
I'm just trying to stretch it to the very end.
Actually, wait a second.
Can he make it?
Or actually, oh, my bad. Wait a minute. Cody, I thought, came down or stayed out there, but he's actually 21st. They're saying the leader is Seth Cole?
What?
Oh.
I'm a little confused. Did Cody come down earlier? Well, Seth Cole's right here.
Oh, no, Cody, I think was he a lap down?
I think so. Oh, yeah, that's right. He came down the pit road in that earlier time. That's right. My apologies. That totally got me a bit. Right now, the top 2 would be William Flickinger and Courtney Keith to make the final spots there for the chase. But look who's starting to come. RJ Bishop, Cody Lamas, Zachary Fitzwater, and those drivers right there. 2 laps to go. Flickinger battling with Seth Cole. Probably not a good idea.
That's going to reel in that pack.
And Levi Mcintyre with help from the 7 of Zachary Fitzwater and the 1 of Trent Dunham trying to work on the bottom to try and get up there to the lead as well. But McIntyre gets stuck in the middle, leaving room for Fitzwater to make a move.
Oh my God, they're trying 4 wide off turn 3, and thank goodness Fitzwater, with a good IQ right there, just tucks back in line. But at the line will be the white flag lap. I think Sky Comment's on back. They are sitting ducks. They are not going to make it. to battle it out there. White flag, final lap displayed for William Flickinger in the Goodyear Chevrolet. They're approaching Jeff James in the 20.
Oh boy, here we.
One last attempt at slow cars. Flickinger's gonna get by. William Flickinger gets by. That may have solidified William Flickinger making the chase. Fitzwater's got a pick of Trent Dunham on the inside line. However, he's battling him right there. Now Fitzwater's starting to break free in the 7. Dunham is blocking RJ. If Dunham goes low on Fitzwater, RJ may have a shot.
We'll see.
William Flickinger, he's going to be the one to transfer in. And how about this? Zachary Fitzwater, who hasn't had much of a season, will try to at least redeem himself and try to repeat as champion here, but they're the two to transfer, Flickinger and Zachary Fitzwater.
How about that?
Wowie.
Zachary Fitzwater, last season's champion, trying to look for 2 in a row, and will keep his opportunity alive somehow, some way. And again, I never thought we would see that a champion, or even a former champion, tries to win via by the LCQ, and he's going to do it. And William Flickinger, who hasn't had much at all this season, he's at least going to represent for Flickinger Racing there in car number 8. So a one-time deal for William Flickinger to try to bring a championship for Flickinger Racing. And Zachary Fitzwater, keep in mind, the only Evans Gardner Motorsports car representing the team. So that's going to be a bit scary right there. And you got to feel for a few drivers right there. RJ Bishop, you know, normally those races cater to the people who don't do well in the standings. And, I mean, Fitzwater's definitely in the exception of not doing well at all. Same for Flickinger, but Bishop's has definitely not been great at all. But he'll come away just close right there. He'll come away in 4th. Levi Mcintyre, Courtney Keefe, Dylan Potey, Dylan Thoreau, Sky Commons. Wow, what a crazy race that was right there all together. But here's a look at your results. Even though 26 cars finished the race on the lead lap, and 27 all lap down, and basically we're sitting ducks from that point on. But
Junked.
What a race this was altogether. A big thank you to Levi Mcintyre and Johnny Gardner for joining me in the booth there. Thank you guys so much.
Not a problem.
No problemo.
If you definitely want to check out their channels, I'm sure you definitely want to for sure. Click in the description below. You will find their channels. Hit subscribe, of course. They really would like that for sure, especially one just hit a recent milestone not too long ago, too, on YouTube. So until then, thank you guys for watching Talladega and the Chase Race LCQ. If you like this race, be sure to give it a like. Comment your thoughts. Subscribe to be part of the NRSL button. Subscribe button down below. Congrats to William Flickinger and Zachary Fitzwater and the final 2 drivers to advance into the chase. Best of luck to the 14 drivers in both series to try to battle out for the Season 9 Xfinity title and the Season 8 Universal Orlando Cup Series title. Until then, for Johnny Gardner and Levi Mcintyre, this is your boy DeYoung signing off. We'll see you guys later, and go ahead, say it, you both. The final words of wisdom. Just say it.
Hey, Kev, you're a bitch. Wow rules and sheets.
Go watch Zev Bellringer's porn videos.
We just lost our sponsor.
And there goes the demonetization. Hooray. See you guys later.
Yay!
We just